Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I wanted to just briefly touch base on what I believe to be Skylanders' most forgotten, or one of the most forgotten game modes in Skylanders. That being the Kaos Doom Challenges from Skylanders Trap Team. Aside from making Flinkong just bug out for no reason, this game mode doesn't have too much to offer and is relatively simple, yet manages to maintain some level of fun at least. The way the game mode works is very simple and essentially copy and paste from the first wave or level to the last. It is a simple tower defense game pretty much, but in Skylanders, where Chaos will send waves of enemies towards your base with the intention of destroying, I believe it's called the Mystery Chest of Doom, something like that. And you have to defend it with both your Skylanders and towers, which upgrade after every successful round that they survive, but the enemies that Chaos does send at them will try to also break the towers, and if the tower breaks, it loses all of its upgrades. Now, from my time playing today, only one enemy really gave me any grief, and that was the Cuckoo Clocker. Everything else wasn't really much problem to deal with. Sometimes when I'm using a lower level Skylander, like here at the start I'm using Flinkong, who's only level 4 or whatever in this footage, and so there were some moments where I was struggling with characters like that, but if you're using even just level 10 Trap Master, you shouldn't lose at all, because even if you get a couple of Cuckoo Clockers who attack one of your towers and even break the towers, it really does not matter that much, because you can just kill them in a couple of hits with a strong enough character. And that brings me on to my next point. Now keep in mind, I don't think I'm playing on the hardest difficulty in this. I'm either on normal mode or hard mode, I don't remember which. But I'm using a level 1 unupgraded Spry here, and I get this is only wave 5 of 100. But I was not really having too much difficulty. I mean, obviously here they break the chest, but there's one very big part that I'm about to get into with this game mode, and that it is so forgiving. It really does not matter if you lose or not, because even if they break the Mystery Chest of Doom, it spawns in one big boss who kills everything else in the arena anyway, and then you just have to defeat this one boss battle. The thing is, at least with this boss in particular, he can't aim for the life of him. Literally, look at how ridiculous this is. Sure, he breaks the tower for a little bit, but all of this time he's trying to kill me, and I get I've got a small hitbox, I'm playing as Spry, but he misses by miles every time, and I kill him with no issues as a level 1 Spry. He didn't hit me once. This is supposed to be a boss. Anyways, I then took it upon myself to have him spawn in again, and here's where I found out he only kills enemies that are close to the box, so if the box is going to break anyway, you may as well just let all the other enemies in the arena get close to him, so that, they all die. But now, this was a bit more difficult, because now I'm fighting all the other guys as well. Well, I mean, that would be if they weren't also easy to kill. I get this is only level 6 over 100, and I get them on the hardest difficulty. I'm not just going to be whinging about the difficulty the entire time, I promise. But, as you can see here, I managed to pick them off one by one using the dash attack, and kill all of the Mace Mages, I believe they are. And we're just left with this one guy, and here's where I discovered the pro strat for if you ever need to beat this guy or playing as Spry. I assume this works for other characters as well, but I mean, I haven't tested it, but you can just literally run in a circle around him, and just spam your primary attack, and there is nothing you can do. And while I was doing this, I realized, I was thinking, is he hitting past where I am? Because where the impact of his mace is, it looks like he would miss me if I just stood completely still in front of him. So I decided to test it. I just stood there and just let him hit me. Turns out he can if you stand completely still, but I mean, that's sort of to be expected. So I then replaced one small dragon with another one, and we went straight back into the action. Now you see, this is one of the things again about the difficulty of this, is that you can't really lose, because even if they break open the box, it does not matter for anything, as long as you kill the boss at the end. And you can use as many Skylanders as you like. I could go through my entire shelf back there, and it would not matter at all. I don't know if there's reduced rewards. I don't think there is. I'm facing it's still the same. So It's definitely not a difficult game mode, but maybe that's not the point, you know. Maybe the Chaos Doom challenges are just meant to be relaxing, or meant to be a break from the main story, which does make sense. However, I think another part of the reason why this game mode became so forgotten and so unplayed these days, compared to the main story games or other like side mini games, I think it's because of what it replaced. With the introduction of Trap Team, we saw the removal of one of Skylanders' more beloved game modes, being Battle Mode. Present in both Giants and Swap Force, I'm not sure about Spyro's Adventure, it could be in that, but I don't think it is, correct me if I'm wrong. Aside, like in those two games, or maybe three, there was Battle Mode, which let you go against your friend, or sibling, whoever you're playing with. It let you go against their Skylander in a head-to-head. But for some reason, this feature was removed in Trap Team, where if that be due to balance reasons, or maybe they just wanted to mix things up, maybe they didn't want the game to be PvP focused, whatever the reason may be, there was no arena mode or battle arena between you and your friends, and instead we had the Kaos Doom Challenges. I remember back when Trap Team came out and the hype was around the game, there was quite a lot of people who were upset to see the removal of arena battle, or the battle mode, and a lot of people are still quite upset about that today and would have liked to see it in the later games. I would also have liked to see it in the later games, even though I normally play solo anyway, so I probably wouldn't have many people to play against, but you get the idea. And so, but the question is this a fit replacement? Does it live up to the fun and the capability of that original battle game mode? To which I think it almost does, to be honest, because although you have to swap out a lot for all the different things, which gets quite egregious and quite annoying, because you have to swap character every 3 seconds to put on a different tower, but at the same time, you get decent rewards from this. I would be lying if I said that you didn't get a good amount of money and an okay amount of XP, especially if you're doing 2-player. I remember back in the day, people used to AFK a second player to get some XP, if I remember correctly. I think that was a thing that people did, unless I'm just crazy. But I do seem to remember that in the back of my mind. And you get your XP for levels on new Skylanders. And speaking of new Skylanders, it's a great way to test new Skylanders' abilities. In this footage, almost all the characters except from Wildfire that I'm using have not been fully upgraded, and I was learning as I was playing how they play and what they actually are like to use, because I've just not had very much experience with them. And so I think it is a good way to test that, because it's constant action. Every 30 seconds you're in a fight, and it's not just some tiny little fight. I mean, sure, you got these little grenade guys who, pretty useless. No offense to Grenade in my comment section. Grenade, you are a legend. I mean, the grenade enemies in this are completely useless. They don't really add very much, I'm going to be honest. But the average round does reasonably well at simulating an actual Trap Team enemy fight with large group of enemy units to battle. I don't know why I called them units. Just enemies to fight. It simulates that quite well and puts in a good replica state. So you get a good feel for characters and how they'll play in the actual game. I think I should also mention, while I was talking about being repetitive earlier, that there are different bosses. You're not fighting the same one every time, which does keep it a little bit more fresh, which is nice to see. However, it's not really enough, because the Kaos Doom Challenges, although they can be a fun little time sink, all of the footage that you've seen today, the past 9 minutes and 15 seconds, and the next minute and a half to come, is all been recorded within a 45-minute time span in real life. I didn't go to Wave 100, I got bored before then. I'm going to be honest, I went to Wave 20 something, I think. And so, it's it was a good way to sink 45 minutes and, to spend a bit of time. And I could probably do it for longer if I was actually playing with friends or family, and I had a bit more of my collection actually next to me, because I know it's on the other side of the room and I can't be able to stand up and walk over there. So I only had the Skylanders that I brought to my desk, which was like just the newer ones in my collection that I've not actually properly upgraded yet or used yet. So it was just me getting a chance to try them out. However, I do think that it doesn't have the same replayability as the OG battle mode did either. I think that the older battle mode, because of how many combinations there was and different variations of battle, I think, it was a lot of fun and trying out different ways to battle your friends. Whereas I think that the Kaos Doom Challenges do lack a bit on that replayability front, which I think is why they didn't come back in later games. Probably people would have said it was just boring recycled content and the same thing as before, which is why we saw a move away into other game modes for Superchargers and Imaginators, which their game modes respectively are topics for another video. That's what I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next week with another video. Love you guys, thank you so much for 4,000 subscribers, means a lot. And yeah, that's what I have to say. Have a nice day, and goodbye.